All so much for joining me. Today we're making one of my favorite recipes of all time. It is my Japanese coconut curry vegetables, and I love this as a quick, easy recipe to go to whenever you're starting your vegan journey. I have my sweet potatoes roasting in the oven because I like to do a little something different instead of having rice with the curry all the time. I put in some no-name oil and then some sesame oil into a pan. See, I'm grating the ginger into the pan, and then right after that I'm going to go ahead and grate some fresh garlic into the pan. Now you can chop it up, but I just find that it blends and marinates with the sauce better when you grate it, but you have either option. You're going to put in that wrist work and stir it in the pan until the sauce becomes nice and fragrant. To that, you want to add the star of the show, which is the Japanese curry. I'm using the hot. It also comes in medium and mild as well, but I am a spice girl, so I used this one because I like the heat. As soon as you go ahead and dump it into the pan, your entire house is going to fill up with flavor in the air. Then you want to go ahead and add your coconut cream. This is from Trader Joe's. You can also get it from any grocery store, but you want to make sure that it's full fat coconut cream so that you have a nice thick sauce to put your vegetables in. Watching your weight or dieting, you can also use coconut milk, or you can use coconut milk that's light or like reduced fat coconut milk, but I'm a thick vegan. Then just to add a little bit of blended flavor to it, you can go ahead and add some bouillon paste or a bouillon cube of your choosing, and then toss your vegetables in. I like to use the vegetables that are already defrosted, so I had this broccoli sitting out on the counter, and then I used a bag of mixed vegetables as well to kind of blend in the sauce and just get it, all the way together incorporated. But here's the kicker. You can use any vegetables you want. I feel like broccoli is just a fan favorite. Everybody loves broccoli and absorbs the flavor really well. And then to just make it feel more thick and hearty, I used a bag of mixed vegetables. But keep in mind, both bags were already defrosted. So now you're not even like super cooking them. You're just kind of warming them into the sauce and letting the flavor get in all of the crevices and the spaces. And look how thick and rich that looks. Amazing. So once my vegetables are warm in the sauce, I just want to give it a quick taste test. Make sure it's everything that I dreamed it would be, as it should be. You can add more seasoning, but you definitely want to watch yourself on the salt because the Japanese curry cubes already have their own salt content. Then my favorite part of this whole ordeal is stuffing it inside our nice baked sweet potato, but you can actually use like scallion pancakes from Trader Joe's. I'm just a fan of trying different things other than rice. You can go to the Trini spot and get some roti, or you can even use the garlic naan at Trader Joe's. That's vegan as well. Absolutely love some curry on top of grits, but this is just super easy that you can make for the weeknight, and it gives you a lot of leftovers to have meal prep with as well. That's why I overly love this recipe, and it's a great introduction into veganism. And all this recipe was about $15 to make everything. Whenever someone tells you, oh, I can't be vegan because it's too expensive, that is definitely not true. You just got to know what you're doing.
Hey Sisterhood Soiree, I wanted to answer a few questions about being vegan. So the first question that you ladies really wanted to know was, what was a transition point that made me switch my diet? And I would say, honestly, I just wanted to feel better health-wise. I started doing a vegan challenge in 2014, and we would go vegan for 21 days, and I was helping people go vegan on Facebook, but I actually would go back to eating meat after January because it was like New Year's resolution time. And after 2018, I just decided that I didn't want to go back to eating meat and feeling the way that I felt. I know for me, especially dairy, like created a lot of mucus for me. Whenever I ate red meat, I felt really tired, and I didn't want to feel like that anymore. Whenever I was vegan and I was doing the challenge, I felt like I was in the best shape of my life. I felt like my skin was the best. I felt like my mood was really different, and I wanted to keep those effects going full time. So 2018 December, that is when I decided and said meat was no more for me. So another question that you amazing ladies had was, how do I make sure that I get enough protein and B12? So there's really a big misconception when it comes to protein and meat. So protein is just a bunch of amino acids that kind of come together, and you can get that anywhere, right? So a lot of people feel like, oh, I have to eat meat, I have to eat chicken or fish or shrimp or whatever to get this source of protein, right? But when you look at all of these animals in the animal kingdom that are actually herbivores as well too, they're also really strong and very muscular. When you look at gorillas, when you look at elephants, they're big, they're strong. When you look at tortoises, they're big, they're strong, and they're not getting recycled protein. Because when you eat meat, you're actually it's like going to a third party to get something that you can just get from plants. So literally everything that you eat in a day is going to have protein, right? Quinoa is going to have protein, broccoli has protein, you know, cauliflower, carrots, different fruits that you eat, all of those things are going to have protein. So it's really not a concern for me. It's not something that I often think about. If I am in the gym and I'm lifting really heavy and I have that consideration, like I want to make sure that I'm getting enough protein, I'll throw some hemp seeds on top of my salad. I'll throw some nuts or sunflower seeds on top of my salad. I may have a protein shake or add some protein to the smoothie that I make for the day. I may add a tablespoon of peanut butter or almond butter just to amplify the amount of protein that I get in one place, but it's never actually a concern. As far as B12, it's not something that I really think about often, but liquid aminos have B12, and then also nutritional yeast has B12 as well, but it's not something that I think about often. And I think the bigger thing with veganism is that it's like immediately when you tell someone that you're vegan, they have like, are you getting enough protein? Are you getting enough amino acids? Are you getting B12? Are you getting vitamin D? Like, you don't just get that stuff from me. I think it's more that everyone needs to be not only trying to eat healthier and whole foods and plant-based nutrition, but also taking your vitamins and different supplements for the things that you might not just have a healthy diet in general. And I think more people should think about it in that way. So the truth be told is with the B12 question, it's not something that I really think about day to day. The same as if I wasn't vegan, I don't think about, oh, did I get enough B12? Did I get enough this or enough that? I think the more important thing is to think about how much fiber we're getting in a day. Okay, next question is, can vegan affect your hormones? I'm not exactly sure how that is taken, but I will say becoming vegan, especially whole food, plant-based, and raw vegan, if we're talking about hormones and like, do you want to jump somebody's bones? Yeah, I be wanting to get it on all the time, but that might be the over 30 part too. I'm not 100% sure. But veganism does affect your hormones in that way. I always tell people, if you're gonna do vegan and you don't want kids, you don't want no more kids, make sure you have a solid birth control regimen. Okay, so another question that I got is it expensive being vegan? Which is a question I get all of the time. And so I encourage people to think about it like this. If you had a plate, a normal plate, right, with rice, beans, broccoli, and chicken on it, immediately we know that chicken is the most expensive thing on the plate. Per bulk, it's more expensive than rice, more expensive than beans. It's going to be more expensive than the broccoli as well. So no, it is not expensive to go vegan. If you feel that you need a meat replacement with every single meal, so when you're eating, you know, dinner or lunch, you feel like I have to, if I'm not having real chicken, then I need to have fake chicken. If I'm not having real sausage, then I need to have fake sausage. Then yes, veganism can tend to get a little bit expensive. I would say it's more like shopping at Whole Foods all the time. But it's gonna be a 1-for-1. So you might get, let's say, the best vegan sausage on the market, but the price point for that would cost you exactly the same as if you got top quality, grass-fed, they massaged the pig as a baby before they killed it, sausage. The price point would be exactly the same. So no, I don't find veganism to be expensive at all. I think it's just a misconception that people have, and because they think that they're not buying the correct things. So for example, someone the other day asked me about vegan pasta, and I was like, well, all dry pasta in the section for the most part is vegan. The ones that's in the cold case, those tend to have eggs in it, and those are not vegan. And so the person was like, oh, so I don't have to buy chickpea pasta? And I'm like, no, you can buy your same Barilla, you know, whatever pasta you were buying, your store brand, your Great Value, your Publix brand, those pastas are vegan. Like, it's just flour and water and it's dried out. So, but a person going into it thinking, oh, I can't have this and I have to buy chickpea pasta, is now paying 3 times the price of what they were paying previously for pasta. And that's where the misconception that veganism is expensive kind of comes in. It's because people are looking past the things that they normally would eat and normally would buy to feel like they have to get something that's super exclusive and way more expensive than they were already purchasing. Okay, the next question is a really good one. The person asked, is honey vegan? So honey is not vegan. And because we're answering this question, I want to go in and talk just a little bit about what veganism is, right? Because veganism is actually more than a diet. It's a lifestyle. So there's vegan and then there's plant-based, right? So a person that is vegan, they're not going to eat any animals, but they're also not going to wear any animals. So they're not going to have leather purse, leather shoes, well, real leather, which is made from cowhide. They're not going to have snakeskin boots. They're not going to have that. That is a lifestyle. A person who is plant-based means that they don't eat animals. They don't eat animal products. So honey falls into the space where, because bees are animals, even though they're insects, they're still in the animal kingdom. They are animals and they produce something that's called honey. So even though it's not like milk from teats and it's not, you know, cheese from milk, it is still considered an animal product. So most vegans and most people, even some that are plant-based, don't do honey, right? So like I said, because bees are animals, honey is something that they produce. Because it's an animal product, it is not considered to be vegan. And also, vegans are more against the exploitation of animals, and because the overconsumption of honey has become a thing, now bees are starting to be exploited, and that's an issue for a lot of people. But that's a really great question. Okay, the next question that we have is, am I a fan of meat alternatives? If so, what are my favorite brands? So yes, I'm a fan of meat alternatives, like I said, if you feel like you need to make it through, right? Me personally, for example, if I am wanting a hamburger, right? I want a hamburger, but I don't want to cause harm. I want a hamburger, but I don't want all the health effects that would mess up in my body from me eating a beef burger, but I'm really craving a burger. I want cheese, I want mayo, I want barbecue sauce, I want all of the fixings. I'm not a vegan that's going to go and get like a quinoa black bean burger. Not saying that they aren't good, not saying that I wouldn't eat it normally, I would, but I want something that tastes like a burger but is not going to have those health effects. So you can get like an Impossible burger, that would be great. I am a big fan when it comes to chicken. I love House of Chicken, which is black owned. It's soy free as well. And then Greenhouse Foods, which is black owned. They also make a vegan beef. They make a vegan chorizo, which I absolutely love as well. They have a vegan brisket that I love as well too. So there's a lot of meat substitutes out there, and a lot of them are black owned. So you just have to know where to look. But those are some of my favorites that I tend to like. I also really like Belief shrimp. I really like Belief bacon as well. Okay, so this is a question that I'm used to getting all of the time. What about cheese? So the person asked, what are the best cheese alternatives? And I said it before, I will say it again. It absolutely depends on what you're making, right? You don't use Kraft singles to make macaroni and cheese. You're not gonna do that, right? So it's the same thing in the vegan world. It depends on what you're making. So I will start with sandwiches. If I was making a sandwich, I really like chow cheese. Unless I want the smoked Gouda flavor, then I would use the smoked Gouda from Follow Your Heart for my sandwich. If I were making macaroni and cheese, I would use a lot of different cheeses. I don't want to give that away, but BioLife is great. Daiya has a Mexican blend that's great. BioLife also has a Kobe Jack blend that's pretty good. I love the Miyoko Smokehouse. The wheel is like a fancy cheese. You can get it at Whole Foods. That's really, really good. Their garlic and herb is great for Alfredo. If I was making pizza, I really like the Aldi's mozzarella. Aldi, low-key, high-key, has the best vegan mozzarella on the market, in my opinion, and it's $1.50 cheaper than all the other brands. I also like the liquid mozzarella from Miyoko's. That's really, really great on pizza as well too. Let me see, I said a sandwich, I said pizza, I said macaroni and cheese. What else stuff? Okay, if I was using Alfredo, I would use the garlic and herb from Miyoko's. They're baddies too. There's all different kinds. I think we need more time to explore that question to see exactly what it is we're making. Then I could tell you exactly what cheese to replace it. Okay, so the next question was, what are some of the benefits of veganism outside of weight loss? I would say, one, weight loss is only a benefit if you are intentional about it, because if you eat rice and beans all day, sis, you're gonna be big as the Goodyear blimp, I'm telling you. But some of the benefits, one, I noticed immediately with my cycle. When I'm eating whole food, plant-based foods all the time, my period is a breeze. We already know that it's the meeting that could have been an email, could have just texted me, been like, hey, you're not pregnant, congratulations. But I used to have really bad back pain. I used to have really bad cramps. I used to have a migraine so bad behind my right eye, I couldn't even see, like 2 days up into the day. Like, that's how I knew my period was coming, because I would get a horrible migraine, like right behind my eye. I would have to wear sunglasses, I wouldn't be able to see. And the cramps are bad. So my period for sure. My skin, now I've always had pretty good skin, but the clarity in my skin, I used to have rosacea, like itchy red cheeks that would be bothered by all the time. That has cleared up. I feel like my mood has improved too. I've been able to manage my mood and my depression a lot easier now that I'm vegan. And what other benefits? Oh, my workout. So whenever I'm working out, I feel like if I'm running or like jogging, I can do that for longer periods of time without needing a break. I feel less tension in my knees. I don't feel as heavy. And also after my workout is done, I feel like my recovery time is a lot quicker. Like if I did legs before, I would be like down for 4 days. I wouldn't be able to work legs. I can work legs again after 2. I feel like the recovery time is super fast, and I love that about veganism. Okay, this is a really good question. What was my biggest challenge going vegan, and how did I overcome it? So this is like a 2-part answer. So one is food. One of my biggest challenges with going vegan was, believe it or not, cheese. Like, I was a cheese girl for real. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, if there wasn't vegan cheese, wow, I don't know. I don't know where I would be, because I love cheese. And so I got into all different kinds of vegan cheese. And that is one thing I'll say that really saved it, because a lot of vegan cheeses can be hit or miss, and it depends on what you're using it for, right? Once you figure out the motion and how to use it correctly, then it works in your favor, which was a challenge. That took me to figure cheese, like specifically for mac and cheese, that took me like, I want to say like 1.5 years to figure out the combination and what I needed to do. It was a lot of YouTube University, a lot of watching my faves. And then the second part of the 2-part answer of why, like what was challenging me with veganism, was family gatherings. And I had to consistently change my mindset and remind myself that my family is a celebration, not the food. So yes, I will not lie, it's not difficult to be vegan in my personal opinion, but it is inconvenient, especially when you have, Thanksgiving and you're going to your family's house and they're eating, all of the faves you've been waiting for all year, the turkey, the collard greens, the green beans, the yams, all of the stuff that, you've been waiting for. So that can be difficult, and, you prepare in advance for it. Not last year, but the year before last, Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving was at my aunt's house, and they had everything, the honey baked ham, they had pot roast, turkey, the rice and peas, oxtail, because my family's Jamaican, like the whole thing. I brought my own food. Like, I came, I hung out with my family, I played with the babies, I chilled with the cousins, you know what I'm saying? We drank, we turned up, but I brought my own food. I had a whole Thanksgiving plate that I had made for myself, and I think I ordered some food from someone else. They had like a seafood boil or something, and everybody was in my plate. They was like, oh, what you got going on? Like, yeah, no, everybody was vibing with what I had. So it does take a little bit more preparation to either eat before you come or bring your own food or figure that out. But that just kind of really is the case until we get more vegans in more families. That's really what it is. But those are the 2 biggest challenges, and that's how I've overcome them. A great question, very considerate question. Does the smell of meat bother me? Yes. Specifically red meat. So if I smell a steak cooking, pork chop being grilled, burgers on the grill, it smells like a hot porta potty to me, honestly. The smell of beef, I can't take it. Now with chicken, if the chicken is being fried, then it still smells good. I don't know if that's like the breading and the seasoning and the oil together, but when I walk past like Publix deli and I be smelling the fried, that still smells good to me. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Sorry, vegans. But, sorry, PETA. But it still smells good to me. But red meat particularly, like, it literally turns my stomach. Also smoked meats too. So like ribs, if somebody's making like collard greens and they're like cooking the smoked turkey, that makes my stomach turn too. And I don't know what it is, because I felt like I was never like that before. I felt like it was never a big deal, but I think this veganism shit is a cult, because the longer you in it, the more particular you get. But yes, now this is my 4th year going into year 5. I don't want to be around no meat being cooked. I don't want to be at no cookouts like that. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I don't want to do it, can't do it. All right, awesome question to round things out. What are some great beginner tools to going vegan? So first of all, I would say if you're looking for cookbooks, which the question specifically asked that the person was looking for cookbooks, I have 3 amazing cookbooks actually. So I have 21 Fresh, which is going to be your whole foods, plant-based, no fake meat, awesome cookbook. It comes with grocery list, a recipe for every song that is tied to a playlist on Spotify. It's absolutely amazing. So if you're first starting out as vegan and you want to do it for health reasons, I 100% recommend that cookbook, 21 Fresh. You can find it in the link in my bio on Instagram, as well as on my website, sunnyspeaksvegan.com. If you are just transitioning, like you just want to keep your roots, your heritage, your culture, but you want to eat less meat, you want to eat less animal products, then I recommend Home for the Holidays. But I do want to warn you, Home for the Holidays, you got to already be able to cook. You got to, don't come in it. This is not the remedial, this is not the 1101, this 1102, 1103 class, okay? But that one is going to be your transition recipe. So your banana pudding, your mac and cheese, your fried chicken, potato salad, sweet potato pie, like the goal of that cookbook is to be able to get through any Black occasion with recipes that are going to be amazing, just as good, if not better than what's being served on the meat eater's table. So Home for the Holidays is amazing if you want your soul food, you want your roots, you want your Sunday dinner, but you want to eat less meat, or you want to eat a little bit healthier. I definitely recommend that as a resource. I also have Aligned AF, which is a 1 recipe for each chakra to kind of help balance and align yourself spiritually with the way that you're actually eating. So those are some of the cooking resources that I totally recommend. Also, I want to say some more tools that I definitely recommend would be, if you're going out to eat, especially with your family or other people who enjoy eating meat, but you don't want to, definitely go somewhere cultural, Ethiopian places, Thai places, Chinese restaurants, all of those places. The meat eaters can have their meat, and you can also get a really good meal too without trying to make something happen with the sides. Go to the Asian grocery store, Caribbean grocery store, or African, just any type of international grocery store. You're gonna get amazing stuff to cook with. And then, I don't know if I should say this just yet, but shop at Trader Joe's. Like, Trader Joe's be having the deals. Trader Joe's my baby daddy. If you don't have a Trader Joe's where you stay, write your local senator, because they're not doing their job. Thanks so much for your attentiveness during this video. Thanks for all the amazing questions. I hope I answered everything for you. You can go to Instagram and follow me, Sunny Speaks Vegan. That's SUNNI, speaks like a language, and then vegan, Sunny Speaks Vegan. And definitely check out our website and some of our digital documents, as well as cookbooks, sunnyspeaksvegan.com.